The hospital. Called the phone rang at 2:17 a.m. I stared at the screen, reading the name, hospital, as though the letters themselves could wound me. The voice on the other end was flat, rehearsed. "Mr. Khan, you need to come immediately." That was all. No details, no reassurance, no condolences. Just urgency, sterile and clipped. For a moment, my breath caught in my throat. Then came the rush of questions. My daughter, missing for weeks. The posters, the police reports, the endless dead ends. Was she alive? Was she lying somewhere in that building, unconscious, waiting for me to hold her hand? Or had she already slipped into the void, leaving me with nothing but paperwork and silence? I pressed them. They said nothing. Only that same line, "Come immediately." The air in my chest turned cold. My hand trembled, though I forced it still. Panic wanted to spill over, but I caged it, tightening my jaw, forcing myself to think. Something about their tone gnawed at me. They knew something, and whatever it was, they weren't telling me. I grabbed my keys, stepped into the night, and drove. Every second of that drive stretched, elastic, warped. My thoughts were not of comfort, not of prayers. They were darker, suspicious, calculating. Because somewhere deep down, I already knew. The hospital wasn't just calling about my daughter. They were calling about the truth. When I arrived, the fluorescent lights washed everything in that sterile, endless white. A nurse led me down the corridor, her eyes avoiding mine. She didn't speak. She didn't have to. The silence said enough. And then I saw her, my daughter, alive, breathing, thin, weak, but unmistakably her. Relief should have flooded me. It didn't. Instead, something else curled in my stomach, confusion. Because she looked at me not with joy, not with recognition, but with hesitation, almost fear. The doctor began speaking, fragments about trauma, malnutrition, weeks away from home. But then something slipped, a detail too sharp, too precise. She kept asking for her father, he said, by name, repeatedly. But the name he spoke was not mine. It landed in my chest like a blade. A man's name I knew, someone too close, too trusted, someone who had been around far too often. I kept my face still, controlled, but inside, my mind split open. Was this why she vanished? Why she was afraid? Why the hospital had spoken so carefully? I felt my heart crack, but I did not show it. I simply nodded, thanked the doctor, and sat by her bed, holding her trembling hand. On the outside, a father reunited. On the inside, a man sharpening knives of thought. The next weeks blurred. She stayed in the hospital. I stayed at her side. But my mind was elsewhere, calculating, collecting. Her whispers at night, the fragments of sentences. He promised. He said he loved me. He said he was my real father. I listened. I memorized. I never asked directly. Instead, I moved in shadows. I requested records quietly, DNA tests, cell phone logs, small favors from contacts who owed me silence. During the day, I smiled. I told stories. I stroked her hair, assuring her she was safe. At night, I traced patterns, piecing together timelines, lies, connections. Every detail matched one possibility. The man she named, the one she believed was her father, was not some stranger. He was someone my wife had trusted me to accept into our home, her colleague, her friend, the man who had been at every birthday, every barbecue, every holiday gathering. The picture sharpened until it was unbearable. Infidelity, manipulation, a double life woven so intricately that even my daughter had been pulled into its center. I felt the rage swell, but I swallowed it down, because rage is noisy, and noise ruins strategy. The envelope arrived 2 weeks later, sealed, heavy, final. DNA results. Unmistakable. My daughter was not mine by blood. I didn't slam doors, I didn't scream. I simply carried the paper into the kitchen where my wife sat, scrolling absently on her phone. I placed it on the table. Quiet. Precise. Read it. Her eyes scanned the lines. The color drained from her face. Her lips parted, trembling, forming excuses she hadn't yet decided on. I didn't move, didn't blink. My stillness was its own violence. When her tears came, they were loud, desperate. She clutched at me, begging, explaining, trying to spin a story out of fragments of pity. But my silence cut sharper than any words. That night, I made no accusations. I asked no questions. Instead, I gathered my daughter's belongings. Slowly, methodically. Every toy, every book, every reminder that this house, our house, was built on lies. When my wife followed me, pleading, I finally spoke, calm, cold. She asked for him by name. Her knees buckled. She wept. She confessed without needing to. And in that moment, I knew. Truth had already destroyed her. My revenge was simple. I didn't shout. I didn't strike. I left her in silence. I took the child she had used as a shield, the daughter she had deceived me into raising, and I walked out. The weight wasn't in what I said, it was in what I didn't. Now, weeks later, I sit in a different house. My daughter asleep in the next room, safe. She may never fully understand the web of betrayal that created her life. Perhaps that's mercy. As for me, there are no tears left, no longing, no broken heart, only clarity. The woman I loved is nothing but a shadow now, withering in the silence I left behind. That is her punishment. Loneliness sharp enough to bleed her slowly. And me? I am no victim. I am the man who uncovered the truth, stripped it bare, and walked away untouched. The hospital had called me in the night, not to return what I'd lost, but to hand me the knife that cut her mask away. Now there is nothing left of her but ashes in my memory, and I do not mourn ashes.